Today we're back on the road to Grandmaster, and I'm actually back to a hero that I used to play a lot but haven't played that much recently. But I rediscovered my love for her on stream and then decided to try to recreate that feeling and that experience in a normal game for you guys here on YouTube. So yeah, we're going to be playing Sylvanas. Check it out. I hope that you enjoy. Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome to the draft for today's game. As always, there are timestamps down in the description for the Road to Grandmaster series, so you can hop to the draft, to the game itself, or check out the talent build at the end, though do beware, spoilers if you hop so far in that you're at the talent build at the very end, of course. So yeah, we are on Braxis holdout. We are team captain, we're first pick, and we're the first team picking as well. So we've basically got, we can play almost any hero in the entire game. It's basically our choice. So in this case, I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go for Sylvanas, I reckon. My favorite heroes on Braxis are, well, my favorite hero has usually been Gul'dan. Gul'dan is so insanely good on this map. The enemy team though, I ban out Gul'dan. Don't want to deal with him. I said, you know what? There's a few heroes. I've done a lot of Gul'dan recently, so we can get rid of him. We can play something else. Enemy team bans out Valla, so we get to lock in that first pick, Sylvanas. So I think it sets us up for a really nice game here. Hopefully this guy, I don't remember what people pick, but hopefully they don't go Tassadar Scara. That would be awful. Enemy team grabs Keltis, which is a decent pick as well. Another, you know, good Wayfleer hero. And the Greymane pick is very strong. Greymane is fantastic at this map. He can do okay in the solo lane against a number of heroes. And he's also good in the 4-man as well. He's got good poke. His cocktail's got a lot of value. I think he's a nice hero. I actually think he's quite strong. One of the strongest heroes in the game at the moment. But yeah, Sylvanas opens us up to like a pretty good start to the game, start to the draft. She's just very strong. I feel like on Braxis, you put her in the 4-man rotation. Not rotation, and there's no rotations usually. Put her in the 4-man lane. You're just going to push in. She brings a lot of wave clear. Your team fighting won't be as strong, but if you do ever win, if you do ever control the lanes, and if you do ever win a Zerg Swarm, like you're just going to push it in super far, and you can really snowball the game absolutely crazily. So yeah, I mean, she does like decent sustained damage. She's very squishy though. But yeah, that's basically the idea here. I like the two picks that we went with. We got Arthas and we got Sonya. Very happy with both of those. Arthas is going to be a good tank into what the enemy team has put together here. Then Sonya, nice strong solo laner up top as well. One of the best ones. In fact, she beats a lot of people. So that sets us up for a really good game here. The enemy team does grab Valeera, which is, I think, a very unusual choice. And not particularly the best choice. You can see as well the skins are a bit more normal than they have been since Heroes 2.0 came out. This was recorded, I think, a day before, or a day or two before HOTS 2.0 went live. So there shouldn't be any major differences. There's no Uther, basically, is the main thing, and no Genji. But they're not too relevant to this game anyway. So we're looking at our final couple of picks. We obviously need a support. I think Rhaegar is a fine choice, and Jaina I think would be a good choice as well. Li Ming is also not bad. Normally Li Ming's not great on this map, but she will bring a bit of kill pressure with what we've got here. I mean, Rhaegar brings some nice damage as well, so between Li Ming, Rhaegar and Sylvanas, we might actually be able to get some kills. Li Ming should also be pretty safe from Valeera. That's one of the most appealing things, right? Is that, you know, Valeera's gonna struggle to kill her. So we can hopefully make some use out of that. The Oriole pick for them isn't too bad either. Can work pretty well with Greymane and Keltis, so that's good. Definitely, I mean, just the main thing with Oriole is to consider like the lack of cleanse, and then do you have a good source of energy, and they do have that. And then I go with ETC right at the end, which isn't, I think it's okay. It's not amazing. I mean, we can get Li Ming with Wave of Force to interrupt super easily. I've got Wailing Arrow as well. So I think it's a decent enough choice. I mean, I probably would have gone for a Nubkeks unless it was banned. I didn't pay attention there. I wasn't looking, but I would have grabbed a noob if it wasn't banned. Tricky solo warrior, but you know, it solo front line. But anyway, guys, there's the draft. I'll meet you in the game and we'll dive into this one. Alright guys, and welcome to the game. Here we are on Braxis Holdout. Quite an interesting draft, quite an intriguing one. And yeah, it's looking like we're going to be 4-man team down bottom lane here with Sylvanas, Li Ming, Rhaegar and Arthas, and presumably the enemy team will put Greymane in their solo lane. So they're going to be Kel'Thas, Oriel, ETC and Valeera. Definitely they got some actually fairly decent kill pressure with like Kel'Thas, ETC and Valeera all have a stun. So that's definitely something to watch out for. But if we play around that, we should be okay. You can see we're actually switching our lane assignments here. The standard, of course, on Braxis is 1 solo, 4 bottom. But seeing as we got Sylvanas, it's a pretty good opportunity to kind of break that mold and to send 4 people top instead. And what that will do is we can hopefully like destroy a tower before they are aware basically what's going on. And we're going for the bottom one. I'd normally probably go for the top one. Just makes you a little bit more safe from the rotations. Li Ming does pick it off. We are on the run here. Arthas overstays though. Valeera locks him down and he does get exploded. I think Arthas may have died regardless. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we got ourselves a tower, but losing the hero, it's not too bad actually. It's not the worst trade in the world. It probably works out actually slightly in our favor, to be honest. Now they get a little bit of XP for killing the hero, but like we don't lose out on any minion XP anyway. The tower is down, which is useful in of itself. There's a bit of lane control, so I think it's fine. And yeah, one of our big goals here, obviously we want to be fairly safe of the Valeera. We never want to get like caught by the Valeera. Like I said, they got a lot of kill pressure, so we never want to be vulnerable to that as Sylvanas. While being safe, we want to be then as aggressive as possible within that realm of safety. So when we're pushing up, we want to be clearing the wave as much as possible. And using our Shadow Dagger, our W, to do quite a lot of damage. So, you know, the Shadow Dagger obviously spreads. So, like your first shot, you can see right there, we got Oriel, and it probably hit ETC. Certainly it spread to the towers, which are pretty good. And it actually hit the minion wave as well, so you can see we did some initial damage to the minion wave. And we also slowed them down, which is useful as well, because if it's pushed up a bit further, it doesn't matter too much right now, because we don't have like the beacons active. But once the beacons are active, you know, having the minion wave pushed a little bit, this is kind of like a more advanced tip with Sylvanas in this map, but having the minion wave like pushed back, if you do that sort of advanced Shadow Dagger thing, that can actually work out really nicely because it gives you a bit more, again, wave control because the waves are further back. So you can definitely sort of exploit that. See right there, we're just trying to not be caught in any of the CC. So just like sidestep a little, then come back in. You can see we're trying to do maximum poke with our W. Basically, we want to, yeah, right, that was pretty interesting right there as well. Oriel is out of position, so we were going to go over the wall with a Banshee wave, but she went to the south. But if she tried to go to the north, we could have Haunting waved over and she would have gone down. Kel'Thas does some good damage to us. ETC follows up, but I think that is to his detriment, and he does not go down. Throwing in the Haunting wave that time for some damage, trying to secure the kill, but a last second heal, and he does walk away alive. Was that from, did they hit level 4? Did he? That is the most frustrating thing, when people survive because they level up. Like, you throw out the killing blow, and then en route, they like level up and they get some max HP, and they get HP and they survive. That's very frustrating. Oh, I should mention the talent build. For Sylvanas, it depends on the map, but like if you're ever on a map where mercenaries are good, Mercenary Queen is like disgustingly powerful at level 1. Now, Braxis, they're some of the weakest mercenaries in the entire game, so we're not going to grab Mercenary Queen here. But I went for, I think it's called Overflowing Quiver. I forgot to open the talent calculator. Let me open that up. But basically, this will fire off a free Q for us whenever a minion dies nearby. It's got a short cooldown. It's just a little bit of extra wave clear, which is actually quite helpful, especially in the early bits of the game. Again, it'll help us keep the lanes pushed up and keep control on those, so we can kind of use that a little bit to our advantage. I do think that Merc Queen is better. Let me open up a talent calculator to get the exact names. I do think that Merc Queen is actually insanely good. Let's say Haunted Mines, for example. So strong. So strong on that one. Is you can just like push and get crazy damage to the mercenaries. Yeah, so yeah, Overflowing Quiver. Level 4, Lost Soul. I always choose this one. I pretty much use almost the same Sylvanas build every single time. But yeah, Lost Soul is great, and it's going to work really well in the sort of 4-man setup we got here on Braxis. This is sort of classic what it's doing well. You can see there Valeera is coming forwards, so we're just going to back up. We're just going to keep throwing our dagger in. You can see the cooldown reduction. Like, just watch when we throw the dagger and it bounces between enemy team members. You're going to see loads of chunks coming off the cooldown, and it's going to cool down very quickly. So whenever it spreads to a hero, or W, it will reduce the cooldown by 1 second and a quarter. But, you know, for the most part, just think of it as like 1 second off the cooldown whenever you spread it to a hero. It lets you get a lot more damage out in team fights. I was considering diving the Oriole there, but I figured that jumping into the Keltis would be bad, and I didn't know where Valera was, so I said, you know, this one could end up in my death if I'm not careful, so I decided not to do that. But yeah, you can see we do slowly burn through our mana with Sylvanas, but yeah, just poking with our W, with our Shadow Dagger, get it in there, get it spreading around, bounces to heroes, reduces the cooldown, we can poke more, and it adds up to a very surprising but very high amount of hero damage, like, and siege damage as well, like, given time. Like this, it very much adds up. Again, right here you can see waiting for that opportune moment where it's going to get sort of maximum spread, so we get it, it goes in, spreads to most of the heroes, and you can see it's back off cooldown pretty much already. Level 7 Barbed Shot. This makes our Q, our Withering Fire, do 200% bonus damage to minions, monsters, and mercenaries. It basically makes your wave clear like absolutely nuts. It also makes you great at clearing objectives, great at clearing merc camps. It's absolutely fantastic. Definitely the best level 7. They're not balanced too well, to be honest. The other ones are just nowhere near as good. I've seen a lot of less experienced Sylvanas players like going for unstable poison on this map, for example, because, you know, it's nice for the wave clear. But like, you got tons of wave clear with Barb Shot is almost as good at wave clear. It's really, really strong. So you're never like at a loss, and just the usefulness in killing monsters and mercenaries way quicker as well is more than worth it. So it's a fantastic talent. It's a very big power spike for her. Very, very big. Especially pretty good on Braxis, great on Haunted Mines, Battlefield of Eternity, Infernal Shrines, all that sort of stuff. So it can be very, very strong on those. That's a good cleanse, actually, to try to keep us alive. Very nicely done by Rhaegar. Spotting that out. And now we are where Sylvanas is at her happiest, which is she's got a giant Zerg wave pushing. We're just trying to keep the forts turned off. So you can see here, throwing our W into the enemy team to try to get some spread damage going on. Also trying to keep the fort turned off as much as possible to minimize that damage and the slowing attacks that it does do. And we're able to burn down the fort pretty quickly. This is a good flame strike from Keltis. Didn't react at all. We take a big chunk of damage. Nice healing tome though. It's going to keep us alive. And yeah, as you're pushing in with Sylvanas onto the structures, I mean, leading off with your W is often a good idea. That's like the safest way to turn off the towers, the quickest way, without you taking sort of damage in return. We'll grab Wailing Arrow here at level 10, and we're going to start backing off. Now, we're completely out of mana, and so are most of our teammates. Li Ming and Arthas both totally so there's no real way for us to continue the push. Would love to, you know, hitting level 10 outside the keep walls with Sylvanas and some of our Zerg swarm still there would be great. But unfortunately, the mana situation, there's just no way that we can keep pushing in. If we tried to, the enemy team would just be able to outpush us, and then they probably would take the lead with that sort of comeback. So don't want to get involved in that. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so we're going to go do this merc camp. And you see our Q is going to shred through it pretty quickly. Oh, also worth noting, Barb Shot's going to synergize with level 13 talent when we get there. We'll talk about that when we grab it. At this point, I thought that Sonya would help us do this siege camp. I was thinking, like, this might be a great opportunity to, like, clear out the siege camp really quick, and Sonya can go clear that wave, and all be good. Sonya just goes straight to the wave, so we're going to actually waste a fair chunk of time doing this, but luckily, because of Barb Shot, we do kill these things fairly quickly. But yeah, we lose a few seconds. It could have been done a bit more efficiently if Sonya had killed it with us, and just do merc camps together super quick. Then she can go to the lane. Maybe would have missed out a minion or two, but frees me up to rotate around the map a bit quicker. Didn't matter too much in the end, but that's a small thing that can make a bigger difference in different circumstances. Oh, we got a big fight here. You can see Valera's lurking towards the bottom right there. We're just happy to like clear out the waves, poke a bit with our W. Again, the poke damage, you kind of potentially get a lot of value in this setup because they are running an Oriole. So she has a finite amount of energy, especially if they don't get much poke off in return. Like if Keltis misses some of his poke damage, they've got no energy, they've got no way of healing that up. So that can be really, really good for us. You can see I was like partially AFK there or something, but we're back in now. Level 10, just using our heroic to interrupt the mosh pit, just straight off, just to make sure that that's not going to be an issue. We take out one kill. Li Ming is chasing someone to the other side. Don't think they quite got her. But yeah, in this game, we're going to be focused on... I remember, actually, I was wondering when I was going into this, because I didn't remember Li Ming ever interrupting a mosh pit. But she does have Wave of Force, which is a great choice. Obviously, that is a super easy way to interrupt mosh pits whenever they come out. But yeah, we're also going to try focus in a large way on doing that. In that case, we only hit ETC with our Wailing Arrow. It wasn't the best, but I decided interrupting mosh pit made it worthwhile. But normally, we would try to do something like... throw out I thought this was sneaky. We throw out our haunting wave and then we just mount up while the wave is traveling. I figured we'd have enough time to pull it off without getting hit by the enemy team, so that would actually be the safer escape than using our haunting wave. Actually better to be on our mountain to run because they can't catch up with us. What was I saying before that? I don't remember. It's completely gone, whatever my train of thought was. Sorry. Yeah, Li Ming doesn't have too much mana. But oh yeah, sorry. Probably with the Wailing Arrow, or one of our big goals is going to be to interrupt mosh pits, or just to silence like as many people as possible. Good kill by the enemy team. Unfortunately for us, Arthas survives by the skin of his teeth, which is very lucky. We're going to use the Wailing Arrow just to ensure that he does escape. I wasn't going to bother. It wasn't available to use at the start of that fight, but then like towards the end, I said, you know what, this is actually a good idea. Because it looked like Arthas would just about live. So we're going in very aggressive here. I thought we might just about have this. Ancestral does come back up. But like I felt like we had this fight. Like they're all so low. I felt like we could do this. We do get a couple of kills. Li Ming is out of mana, unfortunately. Yeah, it was definitely too greedy for me there, not respecting the lack of mana that we have. So it didn't quite work out as well as I intended. If we had more mana, I think this would have worked out really well. But nonetheless, like I died and our team got 2 kills in return, the Oriole and the Greymane. So it did work out in the end, and they all got low. So this is going to be a fairly decent push for us. But yeah, you can see that was one of those circumstances where the enemy team was so low. I think it was worth trying something aggressive. But yeah, I should have been paying more attention to our mana as well. It's definitely something to watch out for. You can see here, kind of timeless to be back at our camp. Unfortunately, there's like 10-second respawn time left on that camp, so we can't actually go for it. Level 13, this is my favorite talent on this tier, which is Windrunner. So whenever we teleport with our Haunting Wave, it completely refills our queue. And then we get a free Haunting Wave after the first one. So it's an absolutely massive deal. You can see we do crazy amounts of damage with our Qs. Bear in mind, our Qs with our level 7 Barb Shot are doing 200% bonus damage to minions, monks. They're doing bonus damage to monks. Minions, mercs, and monsters interrupt him instantly there, ETC, as he goes in for his mosh pit. So that worked out well. ETC does go down here. And we're getting a nice big chase. But yeah, so you can melt through mercenaries really quickly with this. It's extremely useful. You see right there, he threw the RW onto the wall, hoping it would spread and maybe kill the Valeera. It didn't happen in the end, but I think it was worth a shot. This is one of the circumstances where there's so many enemy team members dead that we can just use our Haunting Wave onto like a structure and then teleport on top of it to turn it off. Normally risky. You don't, as you've seen in this game, you very rarely want to use your Haunting Wave for damage or to turn stuff off. You're generally much better off having it as an escape. And with the Windrunner talent here at level 13, because it gives us so much more damage, like we can get 2 resets, we can get like an extra 10 shots with our Q if we use the Windrunner appropriately. So we can exploit that in team fights. So you'll see we'll do some sort of like parallel and stuff. Like kind of watch out for that, the Haunting Wave positioning during team fights. And bearing in mind we do have the 2 casts of it. Definitely like that's a big part of playing Sylvanas. Is using that to its max potential. You can see right here, by the way, like again, we need people helping us out, but like against a Merc camp, you like throw your E through the Merc camp, you spend all your Qs, you activate E, then spend all your Qs, you reactivate E back through the Merc camp, and then teleport again, and even more Qs, and yeah, you'll just melt through every Merc camp extremely fast. It's a lot of damage. And it's really, yeah, it's one of the most interesting things about her as well, is the compositions in which you can work. Like, sometimes you get a very difficult enemy team to fight against that you can't actually be aggressive with Windrunner, and that's where Sylvanas kind of suffers. I really feel like she's at her best when they've got like a big composition. I was scared about a mosh pit here because Sony's not even here, so I did a preemptive arrow just to scare them away. I think it was a bit too preemptive, honestly. Could have held out a little bit longer. But Sonya does find Greymane in the jungle. We're there as well to just, you know, help a little bit. Good Ancestral, and this is going to be a really nice fight for us. You can see we're teleporting into a mosh pit like a boss. Li Ming, though, she gets a reset and interrupts it. We're kind of diving in after the enemy team. Li Ming spells miss the Keltis. He does some pretty beastly return damage. He might live. No, Li Ming got him. Li Ming got him. And that's the whole enemy team dead. That's going to be game right there, so that's pretty nice. Level 16, I got Cold Embrace, by the way. So our Shadow Dagger reduces enemies' armor by 25 for 2 seconds. The first enemy we hit with our Shadow Dagger. So this is insanely good in team fights, especially with Lost Soul at level 4. So we got loads of cooldown reduction on our dagger, and then every time we hit a hero with our dagger, they get 25 minus armor. So it's yeah. Normally with Sylvanas, you kind of lack kill pressure and burst damage and stuff like that, and that really fixes it up. But I mean, you can do crazy amounts of damage. Like when you use Windrunner and the Cold Embrace Shadow Dagger, it's pretty insane. Level 20, normally take Bolt to the Storm. We actually got MVP in that game, which is great. I'll show you the stats here just so you get an idea of like what Sylvanas can do. We got a few Merc camps, and that's like a fairly typical snowbally Braxis. But yeah, you can see we did top hero damage by a lot. Sonya actually beat us out in Siege. But yeah, that is the talent build. It's fairly standard. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Sylvanas can do. She's a really good hero that I've definitely been underestimating, I would say. She's kind of better than I expect her to be, and definitely a hero that I'm going to be playing more often. A lot of fun. Love her. I think she's great. But yeah, talent build should be on the left hand side of the screen, and there should hopefully be soon buttons up on the right hand side to subscribe, check out other videos, or check out my other channels. I think you'll really enjoy all that stuff, so do take a look if you want to see more. But yeah, Overflow and Quiver at 1, Lost Soul at 4, Barb Shot at 7, Wailing Arrow at 10, Windrunner at 13, Cold Embrace at 16, and then usually Bolt of the Storm at level 20. That is the Sylvanas build. That's how you play her. And yeah, she's really good. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you did. I'll catch you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye-bye.